Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this Minnie and Mickey themed cake for Valentine's Day, so let's just get started. I've made myself a template and I will link the picture that I used below, and I also traced the outside of that template onto a piece of cardstock and cut that out. I'm going to snip off the ears and the nose. I just want to keep the roundness of the head, and then I cut out a piece of cake board in that same shape. I'm placing a 6-inch cake on top of that cake board that I've cut in half, and I'm filling that with some pink vanilla buttercream. I trimmed away the sides of the cake so that it matched up with my cake board. You can see it's just ever so slightly tapered on one side, and then I'm going to start going around the edges of my cake because I want to start shaping this into more of a dome. You could also use a half ball pan for this if you don't want to carve. Either way will work. When I was happy with the shape, I did a crumb coat over the whole thing and then popped this in the fridge for about 25 minutes to chill before adding my final layer. To help me get my buttercream extra smooth, I'm just using a piece of cardstock to finish it off. I rolled out some black fondant and I'm draping that over my chilled cake and just using my hands to smooth it out as best I can. I used some scrap fondant that I rubbed in some cornstarch to really help me buff and smooth that fondant, and then I cut away the excess at the bottom with my X-Acto knife. I've covered my board in some white fondant, and to create a pink ombre effect, I'm just mixing some food grade alcohol with a little bit of pink food coloring, and then using a deeper concentration for the top, and then just diluting it as I work my way down. Moving back to my template, I'm going to cut away the eye and the snout portion. I'm popping my cakes onto the board. You can see I made 2 of those domes, and I'm using my template to help me make sure I have enough space between the 2. They're not too far apart and they're not too close together. I already have Minnie's face done, so for Mickey, I'm just draping over some Ivory fondant, and then I'm using my template to help me cut away the top part. I did cut a little bit more because my cake ended up being a bit bigger than my template. The snout is kind of like a long teardrop kidney bean-ish shape, so once I had a rough idea of what I was going for, I did keep my fondant a little thicker for this piece. I added it to the face and just tried to match it up with the other one. They were just a smidge too far apart still, so I very gently coaxed the cakes closer together. I added a piece of rolled up paper towel underneath just so that they dry in place and don't droop down. I used my template to help me get the right shape of the mouth and then just used my fondant tools to define everything. I'm using pieces of black and red fondant for Minnie and Mickey's body. I just use my picture as a guide. If you want to actually cut them out and use a template so it's dead on, you could totally do that, but I just eyeballed this. I rolled out a thick snaky of black fondant for Mickey's arm and then just secured that right underneath the bottom of his mouth with a piece of dried spaghetti. I curved his elbow and then just cut off the excess. I cut off one more piece for his other arm and then started to shape out the puffs of mini sleeves. I did the smaller one for the arm that would be farther away, and then this larger triangular shape for the front. Once I added Minnie's arms, I moved on to the hands, solely looking at my reference photo for this. I could not describe these shapes if I tried. I made sure to add the cuffs on top of each glove, and then Minnie has some little cuffs on the bottom of her puffs. I popped on the final details of Minnie's glove and then cut out 2 eyelids for either side of the faces. To make the ears, I just used discs of black fondant that I let dry completely before trying to add them, and just notched out the bottom with the circle cutter so they'd sit better against the cake. I added one right onto the board, and the other one I secured a wooden skewer to the back with another piece of black fondant, and then just added that a little bit farther forward on the head, just to create a little more dimension. I'm adding pieces of black for the eyelashes. I know Minnie has like long eyelashes, but I tried to figure out how to add them with the closed eye and it just looked weird, so I did them the same. If you want to throw on some longer lashes, if you can make it work, all the power to you. To secure the nose, I'm just using some dried spaghetti and then making sure they're touching up side by side so it looks like they're just nuzzling together. I grabbed a fluffy brush and then mixed together some pink and brown color dust to get more of a flesh tone, and I'm going to use this to help me define all the features of the ivory parts of the face. I used black color dust on the body portion, and I just used that on all the areas where there would be a shadow. For Minnie's iconic bow, I just shaped out these 2, kind of like butterfly wings. One's a little bit smaller because it's going to appear to be further back on the head, and then a little nubbin of that red in the middle for the center. I used my fondant tool to trace out the very top of that smaller bow, and I'm using my finger to smooth that down because I'm not making like an actual bow. This is going to help me create the illusion that it's like folded over. It took a little finagling to get the bow on there so it didn't look weird. The smaller one is definitely more so on the board, and the other one is like half on the board, half on her head. I cut out some white circles of fondant for the polka dots on Minnie's dress and bow, and then just secured those in place, making sure to add a couple close to the edge and trimming them down. I think just looks a lot better than just adding full polka dots everywhere, if you know what I mean. And then to finish them both off, I added black snakies for their tails and just curled them around a little bit. And then this was the final result. I really love this cake. Who doesn't love Mickey and Minnie? They are iconic. I really hope you enjoyed it as well. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe for new videos every week. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.